Don People's Deadbolt. Let's talk about it. So let's get into this Nicki Minaj interview, man. She sat down recently with the homie Joe Buttons to have a discussion about some things. Now, obviously, Nicki's gonna be dropping a project soon, so she doing her press run. So she wanted to stop by Joe's and kind of just talk about a lot of different things. And I like when Nicki talk because she drop a lot of sauce. But this one, man, I kind of picked the vibes and we kind of, went over some things in my head. And I'm like, yo, like, she really is exposing the industry's influence over the youth. Now, Nicki, she got to talking about how she looks at, oh, she used to be the one like, oh, I ain't these kids' parents, basically the whole Charles Barkley routine, like I'm not a role model. But obviously, she's now had a child, so she looks at it totally differently. And she says, when you're on a superstar level, you are inadvertently a role model. And these kids do and follow everything that you do, and you have a responsibility to that. Now, my thing is, Nicki, it's all good. I'm glad you having an epiphany now and you want to expose, you know, exactly what a role model is and who really leading the youth nowadays. But, it's like you really are the grandmother now in this game along with the great grandmother, Little Kim. You and her basically put in this game that now these chicks are now following. And when we look at the history of, where you came from, you came from very humble beginnings when you first started in this thing. Before the body, when you just had the bars. Before the barbs, you had the bars. And you was just trying to get into this game. And, you would do whatever it took to get into this game by any means necessary. And see, a lot of times when you do it by any means necessary, you go down a deep rabbit hole. And you got to do what the controllers tell you to do and, what they want you to market. So as you can see, when Nicki first started out, she was a beautiful soul, but she didn't have the body and everything else that they was trying to promote when she was coming out. So what did she do? Obviously, she had to transform, like a transformer, a Decepticon, go into, auto mode and just flip out a whole new person, a whole new body, a whole new soul. Nicki, went on to then sell millions of records, but also selling millions of little girls to hell. Let's just keep it a bean. And I love the sister, no disrespect, but she was used as an agenda piece. Like when Nicki came out, now Little Kim had a balance. See, Little Kim had Lauryn Hill and, other people who were out at the time who can offset what Little Kim was trying to bring out. But Nicki Minaj kicked the door down with the erotic behavior and the nature of the female and bringing this all to the forefront. I mean, promoting the bodies and the BBL and the whole thing. You feel what I'm saying? And, when you look at where she came from, like I said, starting off, coming into the game, willing to do whatever, and, not really understanding what she's doing. Like, okay, that by you wearing these clothes and by you promoting this type of behavior and this bisexual nature and all this, you was going to invoke different things into these people, male and female. Nicki is like the godmother to this. Like I said, she took it to another level. We can't look at how Lil' Kim did it. We got to look at how the machine did Nicki Minaj. Because, she talked about the influence, being an influence and a role model in these children's lives. Like, but how can you be a role model when the kids, when they looking at you, okay, this is what they looking at. Like, okay, my favorite person in the whole wide world, she wears pink hair and she has a big ass and, she's wearing 9-inch fucking heels, and you know what I'm saying? She's kissing girls, she's kissing men, she's doing all this stuff, and along with saying the most craziest stuff in your lyrics. Like, what were the girls supposed to be following? You know what I'm saying? So I think, in a strange way, this is what she's trying to highlight. Talking about what she had to do, and obviously, selling out a whole generation. Because now having a daughter, um, and a child, looking into that child's eyes, and seeing what the future holds. You know what I'm saying? Like, the path that you help lay. What does this child have, to look forward to? Obviously what his mother laid is what has to be followed in a sense. You feel me? So I mean, I really think when Nicki was talking about that, the Roman days, like, talking about the possession and stuff of the Roman, and the entity that was living in her, I think a lot of people took that as a game. People really didn't take that serious, like, feeling like she was just talking or trying to, be funny, when really I think she was spilling her truth. I think it was upon a time where Nicki, and she still could be, but she was possessed, and she tells you. But, she talks about having, also in this interview, having conversations with Future, and, how, Future still is amazed that people think that he's such a hardcore druggie just based on the lyrics that he spit, when really he's a lightweight, and they laugh about it. So these are the people who they put in front to lead your generation, because they not letting their kids listen to the music that they putting out. They putting their kids in private school. They kids is listening to clean music. They not following those certain trends, but this is what they pump into your children. And see, Nicki Minaj can't stop. Future can't stop. Because nobody wants to go through the embarrassment that a DMX had to go through when he bucked the industry and said, I ain't with the program no more. And they just destroyed him. He was a super mega star, and he had a message in everything that he spit, and they got him out of there. And then you usher in this new generation, and you look at the goats of this generation, right? Like some of them, you look at like a Kodak Black, the goat of this generation. This is what these kids want to be like. This is who they put in front of you, for you to look up to, for you to worship. And these niggas know who and what they, what their responsibility is and what they supposed to do. But this is who they put in front, because this is who they want you to follow. They want you to follow the drug out rappers, like the Uzis who's putting the fucking diamonds in the middle of his face, just with no regard, tattoos everywhere. And because he got a couple of dollars and he can spit some goofy bars, you supposed to follow him, or you supposed to worship him. And this is what the media has put it out in front of you niggas, in front of all of us. And it's like, a lot of us don't even understand that, our whole perception of what we are to do and what we trying to be is being guided. The influences, like she said, like the role models. These is your role models, the YBs, the young boys of the world. Who can go out and say he got herpes, like I got herpes, and can say anything and still get no flack, still can hit hoes raw, the whole nine, ain't missed a beat. And, Nicki Minaj is pretty much birthed, man, like a whole generation of these type of rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, like, especially on the female side, it's just crazy, like, what some of these female rappers is doing. And I know Nicki got to be sick to her stomach right now when she see this. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows that she's been used. And she's been spit out by the industry, and they done cloned her. They done made like 50 more of Nicki Minaj's. She was a rarity back in the day. You know, it wasn't nothing but one Nicki Minaj. You know, and then here comes Cardi B, and then here comes 50 others. So it's like you can't stop the train of what they trying to do. They want to exploit the black woman and all women. They want all women to be thoughts. They want to over sexualize everybody. And, you know, Nicki was just a gateway of that. And I think, you know, with her going on Joe Buttons and, you know, speaking her truth about, like, you know, what she feels that superstars' responsibilities are, or what a superstar entails, you know, you go back through your history, this is what we gonna know you as. You know, like, it's somebody who really over sexualized a whole generation. You know, everybody, all men across the world have lusted for you, and females, just to have a chance to be with you. That's a lot of lust on your soul. You feel me? And you know, I think at the end, man, I think when these spirits leave these people and these people are just left, you know, to, you know, grow old, and they spit their regrets out in these interviews, you know, and I think that's one of her regrets, that now she has a child, and, you know, she wants to be a better person. She doesn't want to do certain things and put out a certain image, and, you know, because of, you know, inadvertently being a role model. But it's not about really being a role model. It's just about being a responsible human being. We can all have fun. We can kick it and do our dirt because we're human. But when you put it out for the world to see and for it to be exploited and for it to be, you know, monopolized and capitalized off of and made millions and billions of dollars, and then, you know, made a whole generation of women thoughts, you know, pretty much. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a lot on your head. And, you know, I think that's what she's suffering with right now. So, you know, when I watched that interview, I think that's what she really was trying to say. Like, you know, the industry really has an influence over the youth, and the influence ain't a good one, man. And it's been pumping this negative shit for a long time. And, you know, they try to let us know, but, you know, like I said, man, you can pull this type of rap. Like, they can ban thought rap, they can ban drill music, you know, they can ban gangster rap, and all it's gonna do is go underground. People will just have underground parties, and it'll just become like, you know, like a taboo, or, you know, just some underground thing. You know, it'll never stop. Everybody now will fiend and search for this type of music. But it is what it is, man. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all feel like Nicki was trying to let us know and expose the industry that they have an influence over our youth, and that these rappers know that they're basically role models to the youth? Or do you feel like she just, you know, she was just doing her little Nicki thing, man? She was just, you know, just snapping off a couple bars. But y'all get in the comment box, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification tab so y'all can tap in every time I drop a video. It's your boy Don Peoples, Deadbolt, gone.